Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one's entitled Planet X Terrifies the Leadership of Planet Earth. Now, we are living on a planet where the educational system has been manipulated and hijacked for thousands of years, so that we never find the truth about Planet X. I found this out because in trying to make sense of the Planet X observations that have become available to me, I discovered that accepted physics understanding is often the exact opposite of how things really work. As according to accepted physics, an object traversing the sun inside the sun's corona at a speed much lower than the sun's escape velocity is impossible. But the object below traversed the sun at a speed which was 15 times less than the sun's escape velocity. And you can see this object here starting to enter the sun's corona. You can see that because there's red light in front of it. And part of it is still out, so part of it is still in darkness. You can actually see that part against the background of corona that is behind the object. There it is inside the corona, traversing the sun, keeps going, and then here it starts to exit. You can see the part that's darker there, and there it goes. It leaves the corona. So this object was actually inside the corona. That's why there's red light between the back of the object and the detector. And because we can see the object entering and exiting, we can calculate its speed. We have timestamps as well. And it takes 10 hours, and the object was about 2.2 times the size of Jupiter. So we can calculate its speed. It was 39 kilometers per second or 24 miles per second, but the sun's escape velocity is 616 kilometers per second. That's 15 times larger than the 39. So this means that what we saw happening here is impossible according to current understanding in physics. And you may look at articles 153 and article 210 entitled Stellar Core Gravity, Tidal, and G is not constant. And so it takes only one observation to falsify current theory or current understanding, and thus this one observation is enough to falsify all current understanding of how gravity works. But there is more, because I found out that the sun was going dark, and that too is supposed to be impossible, as the sun is supposed to be powered by thermonuclear reactions in its core, which keep us from collapsing under the force of gravity. But if the sun goes dark, its light emission is not due to thermonuclear reactions. It has to be occurring in the atmosphere, and thus there is nothing to stop the sun from gravitationally collapsing. The conclusion is that there is no such thing as gravitational collapse, and thus, once again, gravity does not work in the way we have been led to believe. And the evidence that it goes dark is the so-called STO eclipse season, which is no eclipse. It's typical for them to call something by a name which would describe what they would like us to believe is happening, but which actually shows that that's not what's happening. The sun was actually going dark. You can see that because if this was an eclipse, the Earth would be covering this part of the sun here. And so with that part of the sun gone, that's what this image should look like. But that's not what it looks like. If you compare the two images, if the Earth was represented by this triangle, then the part underneath would be covered, and nothing above here could possibly be covered. But then what happened to the corona? Why isn't it there? It was there. This is what it's supposed to look like. The corona is supposed to come right up to the hypotenuse of this triangle, and it does not. It's not there, both sides. The corona shrinks back, and it shrinks back because the sun's going dark. And this actually shows what the curvature of the Earth would be. So you can see it's almost a straight line, so we can represent it with this triangle. So this was the sun going dark. not an eclipse. And then there are the objects, which I have named Planet X because that was what Dr. Robert Harrington had been looking for when he was killed, indicating that he found something he should not have found, and the leadership of the planet killed him in order to keep it a secret. Now, I know that the objects are continuously coming into the solar system as systems, as they are cores or planets and stars which broke up thousands of years ago due to energy depletion. In other words, they were cut off from their energy supply and thus now come to the sun and its planets to absorb energy. And it's not just one single core. These are systems or cores. Each planet and star has a system, a core system inside the body, its body, which has created all that that star is or that planet is, because the cores create matter, but they use energy to create that matter. So the objects are able to resume matter creation once they connect to the solar system's core system. And you may look at Article 785 entitled Planet X is here, but what is it exactly for more details? Thus, we have cores of stars coming in, which are often much larger than the sun, which are energy depleted, which, according to accepted physics understanding, should have turned into black holes, but instead they simply have extremely weak ability to interact gravitationally, which once again shows that gravity is the exact opposite of what we have been told. Instead of black holes, we have white holes, as matter creation is happening everywhere in the universe. Instead of gravitational collapse leading to the formation of stars and planets, they are created from within by a core. And the core is also the source of gravity, and that gravity depends on energy, which turns out to be light. In fact, all matter is made of light, and energy is also light. We are living in a universe which is made out of light and is sustained by light. And again, you may look at Article 785, where I detail that. Now, where have we heard that before? Does not the Bible tell us that God is light and that He created the heavens and the earth? In other words, the universe. Is it possible that the Bible may contain more truth than we have given it credit for? The Bible has, I believe, the most accurate account of the flood, which occurred when Planet X first entered the solar system. And you may look at Article 784 entitled The Earth Before the Flood Cataclysm Before Planet X for more details.